In this video, we're going to talk about the continue statement. We had already taken a look at the break statement. The break statement will break out of the loop or exit out of the loop, but the continue statement will continue with the next iteration, skipping the current iteration. That means it will not let Java execute the instructions that come afterwards. Let me show you what I mean. Take a look at this program. We have an array defined here. We're just looping through all these array elements one by one, and we're just checking if the number is not divisible by 10. If it is not divisible by 10, then we would just want to simply continue. That means skip the current iteration. And that would result in not executing the instruction that come afterwards. In this case is just 1. So by running this program, the output would constitute only the numbers that are divisible by 10. Let's see how it works. There it is. Now take a look at this program and try to understand what I've just explained. Now let's take a look at another example of continue statement, but before that you need to understand what's a prime number. As per definition of a prime number is either divisible by 1 or by itself. Now we have a logic here that will determine if the given value n is a prime or not. To explain this better, let me pull the whiteboard. Let's say we have a value n, 7. Now the numbers that come in between 1 to 7 are 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. If we divide this number n with all these values such that if that results in the remainder of 0, that means the number n is not a prime number. Is 2 divisible by 7 so that it would result in the remainder of 0? No. Same is the case with all the other numbers. So that means 7 is a prime number. Let's say we want to take 9. In that case, 9 is divisible by 3. So 9 is not a prime number. Now how do we write this logic programmatically so that we provide a value or a number n and the program will determine if it's a prime or not? We're simply going to use a for loop. For int I equals 2, I is less than n, I plus plus. Now let's say I have the value as 8. So we're going to loop through how many times? We're going to loop through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to loop through this for loop 6 times with each one of these values. And in each iteration, we're going to check to see if n percentage the value I results in 0. And we have a block of statements to be executed here. If we enter inside this block at least once, that means the number n is not a prime number. Well, if we didn't, then that means n is a prime number. Now let's go back to our workbench. We have more or less the same logic here. Just take a minute and go through this logic. Now let's find out if the value n, which is 3343, is a prime or not. Let's run this program. It is indeed a prime number. Now let's comment out this part. And uncomment our actual code that explains the use of continue statement. Now in this program, what I'm doing is we have an array and I just wanted to loop through all these array elements and find out which one of them are the prime numbers. So we're going to use two for loops for this. The first for loop is for looping through all these elements, and second for loop is to determine if the current number that is in the current iteration is a prime number or not. So this is essentially the same logic what we have here. Now in case this condition is met, that means the number is not prime. So what we want to do is, instead of printing it, we're just saying continue outer. This is very important because we named this block as outer. When we say continue outer, it's just going to skip the current iteration of this for loop, and it's going to go ahead with further iterations. So by doing this, we're not executing the instructions that come afterwards. In this case, it's just one instruction, that is to print the number. So if we run this program, we're going to see the prime numbers out of this list. Run the program. There it is. And just for your information, 2 is also a prime number. It's the only even prime number. Alright, in our next video, we're going to talk about the switch statement that will summarize our chapter on the control statements.